So I'm going to keep this very conversational this morning. A lot of the presentation is designed for big groups. Unfortunately, we don't have, I think the weather's not been on our side this morning. My name's Sunny Patel. I'm the IT director for the city of Hurst. This is technically part 2 of the educational series. The first one was on Wednesday, and we talked about passwords and what cyber threats are. Today we were going to go into multimedia and the internet, and we'll still go over those slides, but we'll kind of fly through them pretty quickly. What I'd like to do is be able to really kind of address any questions you have in relation to cyber threats and how to best secure yourselves. What you're seeing up on the screen right now, there's several companies out there, from Cisco to Fortinet and other Kaspersky and other vendors that create these maps, and these maps are basically based on their equipment that's out in the environment, protecting people's networks or people's PCs. So what you're seeing on the screen right now is actually a live map of what one of these vendors is seeing and the attacks these vendors are seeing coming to different places. So you see the origination point, and then you see the destination attack. So as you can see, it goes both ways. You've got some going from Eastern Europe, Russia, and those areas coming across to the USA. And I know it's kind of a little bit washed out on here. USA is on the left-hand side of the screen. And then you see things going back across. This is so again, a real-time map. There's several out there that if you just typed in Google cyber threat maps, you'd be able to pull up several and see what kind of threats are happening in the world on a daily basis. On some of them, they keep mapping over one another, so do a daily analysis, and you get to see quite a bit of attacks. This is actually a small number, but if we were able to find one that did every single vendor in one place, it would be pretty impressive. To our presentation. So as I said earlier, we're going to cover internet scams and fraud. Internet scams are usually those perpetrated by bad actors wanting to find some way of either getting money from you or getting to your money. You've got scams that come up as financial companies, government agencies, insurance companies, donation organizations, so charitable organizations. I've not seen one for a dating site, and the only reason is I've never been on a dating site. So, but online phone surveys as well. This is one from the Internal Revenue Service. So usually these come out about tax time, and you'll see a lot that says, hey, after your submission, we found that you owe us X number of dollars. Click here to sign in, or you have a refund. Click here to sign in and enter your information so we can get you that refund. Obviously, if you're going to get a refund, the IRS is going to send you a check or deposit it directly into your bank. If you owe them money, they are going to send you a letter. Most government agencies will send you a letter. Sometimes you get the phone calls, because cyber attack is not just based on the internet. You also get them over the phone. So sometimes you'll get one from the warrant office saying that there's a warrant for your arrest, or you owe something to somebody. Give us your information, we'll process it. Very common. The first thing I say, well, if there's a warrant for my arrest, now working for the city of Hurst, obviously it's a little different, but if there's a warrant for my arrest, My warrant officers know exactly where I am. I'm in the building across the street from them. They'll come find me. For you guys, for the general public, it's more like if there is a warrant for my arrest, I will receive a letter in the mail indicating that. Because they'll always let you know that there is something that you have to take care of. How many of you have had the call that says, or an email saying, your family member has been stranded somewhere, please help? And it looks legit. It's got the name of your family member, it's got some other information, and you're like, hold on, is this true? Because I spoke to them 5 minutes ago. So that's another way that they do it, the send money scam. This, I think, has dropped out a little bit, the foreign lottery scam. It used to be very prevalent a couple of years ago. What it is basically, this one shows the British lottery, and I swear it's not the British lottery that does this, but the British lottery or any other organization in the world that says, you have won X number of dollars. And it may even come in the format of an attorney's letter to say, hey, you've won this amount of money and we're here to help you claim your money. You have to do certain X, Y, Z, give us this information, we'll have it deposited into your bank. Give them the bank information and money's going out and not in. Another one that's popular is we have a client by the name of Mr. Smith, for example, and he has a trust and no one has claimed that trust. We are the attorneys representing him. Can you help us? We will pay you or give you a percentage of that trust if you can claim to be a relative or something like that. Again, another fake scam. Survey scams. How many of you have seen these? It's, congratulations, your IP address has been randomly selected to receive an iPhone X. Great, I get a new iPhone. Just complete this quick survey. Once you go through that survey, they'll ask certain questions and they then start getting into your machine or getting your account information. Sometimes it's just the link. So if you click on the link, what may sometimes happen is by clicking that link, it will automatically download a virus in the background onto your machine or download malware onto your machine. So when you click links, you've got to be very careful. There's plenty of these money-making scams. You drive down the street, you see a little sign on the side, earn $10,000 or $5,000 or $1,000 a week. Sounds very interesting. Who wouldn't want to earn $5,000 a week? Once they have your information, you're either going to be doing, you could be doing something legal, highly unlikely. But there are a lot that basically do money laundering through that scam. They'll put money into your account and then you have to move it somewhere else. That's just a way of taking money and moving it around. That now makes you complicit in money laundering scheme. So otherwise, they're just going to take your money again, take your information, and take money or do something that would harm you. Oh, I love this one. This is the computer security scam. So this is Microsoft calling you at home. Hi, I'm from Microsoft Tech Support. We have noticed that your computer is not running efficiently. Okay. So I talked about this on Wednesday. I get a lot of these. So they are saying, so the first question I asked them is, okay, I don't have I don't pay for Microsoft support. None of you do. So how do you have my number? Oh, well, it's just a free service. Okay. What do you want me to do? Press this and go here and do this. Okay. And go through the motions. What will usually happen in this type of stuff is they will get onto your machine. They'll tell you to go to a website. That website will then lock your machine. And then they'll ask you to pay to have it unlocked. Also, just like ransomware. Yeah. And I usually spend about half an hour with these people just frustrating them. I shouldn't, but it's fun. So, when's it safe to share your information? So, it's a customer service call. Someone calls. If they call you and you're not expecting the call, recommended thing to do is get the name of the company, get the callback number of the company, then go and validate that information. So independently do a Google search, find out the name of the company, make sure it matches, make sure the number matches, and everything is legit. Then you call them back and say,
the real number.
yes.
That you've used before.
If they've given you the number, make sure that number is valid, and then you can use that number. If the number is not valid, you know it's a scam, forget about it. Just ignore it. But once you've validated that information, then you call them back and say, I've received a call from your support center and I'm calling you back. Then they'll most probably put you through to the support center, and that way you've initiated that call, you know it's valid. Again, when you initiate that call, or when you expect a call, one of the few things that they do not ask you and should never ask you is a password. Right? Never give out your password. Even for us internally, we sometimes ask for a password because we are working on that particular device and we let them know, and we're internal. But usually we don't ask for a password, especially if it's a financial system or if it's their payroll system. If they have trouble with that, we don't ask for a password. But you should never give a password out. And they should never ask you for a password. If they start asking you for a password, just say thank you and hang up. Because you're giving them the keys to your kingdom. You would never give anyone a key to your house that you didn't know, or your alarm code. Same way, don't ever give out your password. On the side, I don't know if you can really read it, one of the things there, it says, debt collectors will never require you to pay over the phone. If you receive a call saying, can you pay over the phone, take the number of the company, take the name of the person, call them back, and say, I will call you back after verifying the information. Again, something I can't speak to, dating scam. Usually these take, as it says, they're disturbing because they take advantage of people who are lonely and looking for someone in their lives. Charity scam. Anytime we have flooding, anytime we have a tornado, anytime we have a natural disaster, this becomes very rampant. It's a quick way because everyone's feeling that they need to generate or donate. They need to do something for someone in need. This preys on that fact. This preys on the fact that you as a citizen, you as a private individual may want to donate money to help a group of families recover from a tornado or a flood, or help the Red Cross or something like that. If you wish to donate, make sure you donate to the valid charity. Go to their pages directly. Go to a valid charity. Go to a Red Cross. Go to a Goodwill, you know, the known charities out there. Someone calls you and says, I'm with such and such a charity. Let them know that you'll donate through their website. Identity theft. It's happened multiple times to multiple people. This is just one of those things that, unfortunately, in today's environment, it's going to keep happening. Everything's electronic. All your records are available online. So someone's going to get your name somehow, some way. May not happen to you. You may be lucky, but at some point, something may happen to you. Just be vigilant. You know, driver's licenses can be copied. Passports can be copied. Credit cards. Yeah. So it's just very easy. I mean, usually a lot of people have their identity or their credit card information stolen just going to a restaurant. You pay it, give your credit card to the waiter goes, runs your bill, and then keeps a copy of the credit card information by swiping it through another machine. So, online shopping, we all do it. Go to a reputable site. Go to one that is valid, not something that may pop up in the corner of your browser. You know, there's several out there. I don't know if there's much more I can say on online shopping. Just valid sites, valid sites, valid sites. There was a really big campaign when cybersecurity really started up and cybersecurity threats really became an issue. Think before you click. So before you click on anything, before you click on a link, hover your mouse over the link. It will usually show you the real address that it's going to. If the real address doesn't match the website that you think it's going to, don't click on it. If you get an email, you can also do that with the name in the email, the from. It'll tell you who the real email address is. If it's not a valid email, just delete it. So think before you click. Ask yourself, is it legitimate? Most browsers nowadays will not let you have a pop-up unless you allow it. So if you know that you wanted this website, it could be a payment website where you want to bring up a print window to print out a screen. If it's not legit and it asks you for a pop-up, just keep it blocked. If it is something that you wanted, allow it.
How do you block the pop-up?
Most browsers now automatically do that for you. I think they've changed to be a turn off feature as opposed to a turn on feature. It used to be a turn on feature inside the options. On Internet Explorer, you'd had to go down to, I think, options and then turn on the pop-up blocker. But now they usually pop up and say, this page generated another window. Do you wish to allow or deny? And you just click allow. And if that doesn't happen, then you can still Google search pop-up blocker for whichever browser you have, whether it's Firefox, Chrome, Safari, or Edge now, and it'll give you a walkthrough of that.
I had a pop-up just the other day that indicated that we had a virus on our computer, and wanted me to, have them help solve it. And I just went up and deleted the page, but I wondered how it got on my computer.
Again, it depends what site you were browsing. If you were on the browser, were you in a browser at the time?
Yeah, Safari, that's all I used.
Yeah, so you were on that tells me you were on a Mac. What it did was in the browser, it just generated, it's like I said, a malicious ad. So it's just buried in that page. It popped up and said, you've got that. So usually if it's something that's in your antivirus program, it will say the name of the antivirus program that you have and indicate that.
We've done as much as we can. Malware bytes,
Mm-hmm.
we've got that on both of our iMacs. And then we also, Intego, are you familiar with Intego?
No.
We've had it for, 20 years now. And it's only for Apple, but it monitors everything, websites,
Okay.
constantly. We've never ever had a virus, because it analyzes everything, and it will delete it or warn you, and then it'll do a quarantine or something like that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, I was talking to the folk that were here on Wednesday and said, even if you have a Mac, please make sure you have some form of antivirus program. Years ago it was, well, I've got a Mac, so I'm not too worried about it. It's changed.
Yeah, that's changed, yeah.
So a quick review checklist on internet scams. Phone internet scams mostly commonly target against uninformed customers. Hopefully you're informed. Phone scams can easily be avoided by not answering a phone call and allowing it to go to voicemail. If you don't know the number, just ignore it, let it go to voicemail. If it's someone important, they will leave you a voicemail.
Does the answer phone violate that? I've wondered recently, we just get tons and tons of calls and spam calls. I don't answer any of them,
Mm-hmm.
but the answer phone will answer it. And I have a long message there that they have to listen to about how I hate people that call, And so then if they don't leave a message, then I don't do it. But that, I got thinking lately, maybe that indicates, hey, this is a real phone number.
No, it's because it rang and went through. Most invalid numbers the system will always say it's an invalid number. So if they've gotten through, they try and target you by saying, okay, so he's going to answer the phone. So at least one time out of whatever will get through to someone. Just let it go to voicemail, just ignore it, and they'll hopefully finally they'll go away. On your cell phone, most companies should now be helping to block robocalls, but you can also use the block feature on your cell phone. What's happening a lot is number spoofing.
Yeah.
So it could come to you as truly being Microsoft. And you look at that number on caller ID, and it is Microsoft's number. But when you ask the representative, they won't know what number they're calling from. And they won't be able to give you a callback number. What's happening there is because we've moved to an age of the internet where telephone calls are going over the internet now. The old copper wiring is going away, and it's all going via data lines through the internet. You can manipulate that data to show a number you want as opposed to the true number. And if you have, let's say I have a 972 cell phone area code, they're going to try and say, okay, his 972 number is 972-555-1234. Well, maybe he's got a family. So I'll try 972-555-1235. You're not looking at it. Maybe you do have a family. Maybe your numbers in the family are all kind of sequential in that range. You see the number, you pick it up, gotcha. Because you're not going to ignore someone in your family, and you look at the first 3 digits and think, okay, I know this might be my son, and you ignore the last 7. You know, we get into a thought process like that. Even when I look at my phone, I go, oh, 682, it must be someone. No, all my numbers have my names. Why am I answering the call? You know. Social media. So there's several social media accounts and things out there now. They've changed greatly over the years. This goes into, the safety tips. I think generally on this, it's real simple. If you have a Facebook account, if you have Twitter, if you have anything where you can post any information about yourself, when you set up your profile, put the minimum amount of information in that you possibly can. I changed my date of birth. I don't put my real date of birth in. I don't put my cell phone number in. I don't put my home address, that's for sure. Check your privacy settings. Limit who can see your account. Make sure it's just you, your friends, and family. In some of these situations, make sure your friends cannot then share your account information with, or have access to your account through them. Everybody in the world nowadays loves to post about themselves. And they will post when they're at the restaurant. They will post when they're on holiday. They will post sitting at the airport waiting to catch a flight. I am sitting at the airport waiting to catch a flight. A friend of a friend and I've not checked my security settings, so now someone I don't know has access to my account that can see, oh, I'm sitting at the airport. Oh, and I put my address inside the system. Oh, there may not be anyone at home. Guess what? I come home, my house is broken into. And again, do we want everyone in the world to know what's happening in our lives? Yes, ma'am.
My widowed sister was getting all kinds of friend requests from guys, so she finally realized, don't put anything in metal steps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, just very minimal. Only those that they require, and even then, manipulate it so it's not 100% truthful. I think Facebook and MySpace and those are great. I use it. It's great to kind of keep in touch with family. It's improved that communication, especially if family live over a wide distance. But it's also opened us up if we don't properly understand what we're doing. So understanding what we're doing on those apps, any of the social media apps, understanding how to make sure that your information is not out there for everyone else is the most critical piece. And just remember, anything that goes out onto the internet is there forever. It will not go away. Even if you think it's deleted, it's not deleted. There are several sites out there that are archive sites that you can go back years and years and find archive information on the internet. This goes into the privacy settings. Check your privacy settings. Make sure it's valid. Make sure you're all set and you're good to go. Some common social media scams, dummy profiles. If you've watched, I watch a lot of detective shows, and if you've watched any and you've seen some of these shows, they do a lot of dummy website, Facebook pages and things where they try and draw you in. So last year, in 2018, yeah. Facebook deleted 583 million false accounts. So it's not 1 or 2 accounts, it's 583 million. Clickbait, this goes again back to think before you click. You know, more dancing cats. Who wants to see dancing cats? Oh, not me. But yeah, there's lots of people out there that are interested in seeing dancing cats. It's funny to them, it's humorous. They click on it and now we're in trouble. Again, this kind of goes back to the family member in jail or needing assistance. This is more of they find someone or a baby or someone that's truly sick, post it out there, but change the information so the money's not going to that sick child. They're just using that sick child's information as a way to earn money. Social media etiquette. Don't overshare. We've just spoken about that. Comment and post carefully. Again, when you comment on something, you may be angry at some point and just really write a bad comment about something. 10 minutes later realize, oops, I shouldn't have done that. Well, that comment's still out there even if you try and go back and delete it. It's still going to be there somewhere. Don't know if you've seen, but for example, if you post on a comment on Google for a product or a business, that comment will be picked up by multiple different sites. So even if you delete it on Google, it may end up in Yelp. It may end up in one of the travel sites if it's related to travel, or another business site. So they scour multiple pages and grab these comments. So it's not just that one spot. It starts reaching out everywhere.
Those comments be the same on this next door?
So far, I've found Nextdoor to be kind of a closed community. I've not done a lot of delving in there. I am on Nextdoor, but again, I don't post. So, but so far, I found it to be a very closed community.
I wondered the risk in that because there was an article just a couple days ago complaining about the trash pickup.
Mm-hmm.
And I wrote back in response that one we got picked up everything, no problems. I've even seen him pick up a sofa and put it in by himself.
Right.
And he's always been wonderful. So I put that down and asked some thanks. I thought, I wonder if I'm putting in things that I shouldn't even comment about. But I like to appreciate what Domitilo does. He's
Yeah.
wonderful.
So, no, I think there are some which are very close communities. I think, again, I don't know the full extent of what Nextdoor or who Nextdoor allows into their systems. So,
Thank you.
but those which are public definitely go everywhere. Be cautious to share photos and videos. If we had a younger crowd that were in the job market right now looking for jobs, the one thing I would say to them is, if you're out there and you're having fun, enjoying what you do at a bar or at a party, and you're posting all kinds of pictures of yourself, maybe with a bottle of beer in your hands or whatever, some employers look at that. How does that portray you to a prospective employer? So be careful about what you post, and especially if you have someone else posting and you don't want it posted, ask them nicely. Say, please don't post this picture. I'd appreciate it if you didn't. I've done that before. You know. And be wary of the friends you keep. I think that one goes back for years. Always be wary of friends you keep. So know the function of the social media sites before you join. Know what its job is, what it does. Enable your security settings. Etiquette. You know, watch what you're posting, your comments, your pictures, etc. And verify your links, because malware can come through those links. So those were the two topics we were covering. That's the end of my presentation. Here's some resources that can kind of help for identity theft, sweepstakes scam calls. You can call the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Phishing and email scams, Homeland Security. Now, I'm sure they're receiving tons and tons of calls and emails, so they may not get, they'll send an automated response. Whether they follow up, I don't know. I actually did one yesterday just to see. The one I did was in relation to the vehicle warranty scam that's going on right now. Department of Justice, Elder Justice Initiative. Phishing attempts, there is a place for phishing attempts. IRS, Medicare. And USA Gov for Seniors is a good site. And then Texas, the Health and Human Services, Aging Services Division. So these presentations came out of the Cyber Patriot group and the Air Force Association. This program was designed specifically for seniors. So, any questions? Doesn't have to be related to what we've seen, but any questions or concerns you have?
I think you always have a concern because there are so many people out there that are very smart. If they use their brains to do something good instead of what they're doing. I mentioned the Integor, that's for Apple only.
Yeah.
But, I didn't know if you're familiar with that one or not.
Kind of going back to Wednesday, one of the things that we brought up was password length and how to manage your passwords. Every site needs a password, and most of us have more than 5 online accounts. Recommendation is now, it used to be 8 characters long. Recommendation now is 10 plus characters. I recommend 12 to at least 16. The uppercase character, the numeric, and the special character still apply. One of the things that some sites allow you to do is add a space. And then changing your password every 6 to 12 months. One of the slides I had showed, for example, if you have a Gmail account, you can use your existing password and then add something at the end of that password to identify it's your Gmail password. Use your same password and something else at the end of that password to identify it's your Facebook password. We had I think it was an 8-character password that I looked up could be broken in about 7 minutes. And then I added a space and GMA to the end of it, and I think it was 4 years. It would have taken 4 years to break that password. So by adding a space, it actually adds a considerable amount of time. The other thing to do is obviously do not use your name, do not use birth dates, do not use dictionary words. Use a passphrase. So you could have a picture of a blue lagoon hanging on your wall. Your passphrase could be My Blue Lagoon 2. Just by putting in My Blue Lagoon 2, most will say that the strength is great. Problem is, it's still going to be very easy to break that password and crack it. Now, uppercase M for my, add a space, add uppercase B for blue, add a space, uppercase L for lagoon, add a space, and then add a 2. They'll take 4,000 years to break. So just by adding that, just by changing things around in that, your passphrase could still be My Blue Lagoon 2, but the E could be a 3. The O's could be zeros. Now you've made it more complex, but it's still the same passphrase you had before. You're just substituting letters and numbers. And it's something that you can remember. So use passphrases, that makes it easier to remember, and the longer the better.
Someone said leave vowels out. Does that make a difference?
You can leave the vowels out and change the vowels for numeric numbers. Let's see, E is 3. Usually people translate E for a 3, but you could do something else.
It's hard to remember when you got 200 different passwords. You don't want to make them all the same. You know, I guess you wouldn't want to use the same one for all.
Don't use the same one, but like.
But if it's like 400 years, then I won't worry about it.
What you can, like I said, what you can do is change. Use the beginning of use the same password at the beginning, and maybe add something to the end of the password that would help you identify which application you're using.
I got them all written down on my.
Is it on a sticky note on your monitor?
Huh? No, I've got them printed out.
Yeah. If it's printed out, hide them. Make sure it's secure. Someone breaks into your house, they've now got your passwords.
Okay.
So make sure it's hidden somewhere safe. We talked about password vaults. They are good ideas. They can help generate random passwords. But when you have a password vault, make sure it's portable. Make sure it's not just stuck to that one machine, that you can travel with it on your phone, or access it via a secure cloud. And then make sure your password to that vault is very, very secure. Because again, if you have a weak password to your vault, you are handing someone the keys to your city. Another option is two-form factor authentication, where if you log into your email account, it will send you a PIN code via SMS, or it will ask you for a token number, and you get electronic tokens on your phones now. There's several apps that do it. Or even, I was looking at this for my bank, which is Chase, and they allow you to use fingerprint on the phone. So if you access it on your phone, they will allow you to use your fingerprint. So.
Somebody needs to know that password of a friend who died in her sleep, and nobody knew her password to her cell phone, so everything was gone. Grandchildren, pictures, and everything. Her family could not access.
Yeah. I agree, someone needs to know that password, but who's it going to be? I think that's something you have to make a decision on. We use fingerprint authentication in our family a lot. We do have a password that is known within family members, and we ensure that nobody else knows it.
I'm just going to mention you have a lot of public Wi-Fi access, and it's not secure. So be very careful what you use your phone or your laptop or whatever on any public Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That is,
Use it.
If you use public Wi-Fi on your laptop, be careful of which sites you go to. Do not use it for doing financial transactions or anything that's secure. You want to be on a network that you know is secure when you're doing things like that, when you're accessing bank sites and things like that. Be careful what you click. A lot of public Wi-Fi sites can be prone to man-in-the-middle attacks. Basically what that means is somebody sets up a wireless access point, names it the same as the free public Wi-Fi, and you end up connecting to that, and then they pass the information on to the true hotspot. But in the meantime, they're capturing all your information in the background. I was going to set one up in here, but I figured everyone in here would be smart enough not to connect to my hotspot. So
A personal hotspot on your cell phone that goes to an iPad or something like that's pretty safe, isn't it?
that's pretty safe, yeah. Cellular data. I mean, again, everything is as safe as it can be. There are weaknesses in everything. You know, cities get hacked, big institutions get hacked. Networks are very, very complicated items. Software is very, very complicated. There's millions and millions of lines of code, and it just takes one piece of code to cause a break. So everybody is trying to make things as safe and reliable for citizens and user access as possible. But a couple of things that do prevent that is, obviously, if you're using a weak password, you know, the human element. Corporations can't control the human. And just bad programming sometimes. Unfortunate programming, I should say, not bad programming. Sometimes those do affect us. So. Okay.
So another thing on telephone, we use the No More Robo a lot. That has helped. Spectrum has one where you can actually go online and then you can block that number.
Mm-hmm.
And usually that way, if I get it once or twice or 3 times, then I can block each number, and that has helped cut back.
The bad thing is, you know, with those, and it's a good thing,
They
and
change the numbers.
they change the numbers.
Yeah.
So you're going to get that same call. Hitting 2 to go on their do not disturb list or do not call registry or whatever, that just makes it worse. They're just going to keep calling. But with, like I said, with numbers being spoofed as much as they are now, we'll end up blocking every.
He has a good call. I just signed up with a call block.
Yeah, we'll end up blocking a huge amount of numbers, and unfortunately, I know that I had a call come in to our office several months ago. It was actually a City of Hurst number, and they wanted to know why we were trying to sell them something. And I was like, sorry, I mean, we got spoofed.
Yeah.
So even, I mean, we have 400 numbers in the city. So even the city gets spoofed. It's that easy. Yes.
I mentioned one other thing, there's not enough people here to make a difference, but sometimes you're trapped into things that you can't imagine as far as, you said, don't express where you're going, if you're going on vacation, that kind of thing. There's a problem at once, because my wife and I both do the Citizens on Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
We do a funeral watch that a lot of people are not even familiar with those.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you got a husband and wife and either one of the two dies, it's going to be in the newspaper. And 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning at the funeral. Well, the bad guys read those those things, and they know, okay, probably the other spouse is gonna be at the funeral. So they say, let's go rob the house while they're at the funeral. So we don't do a lot of those, but we do those. We go out and sit in front of the house to make sure nobody gets in
Yeah.
while the funeral's on.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that, you know, you're a victim of, I wouldn't say a victim.
You can be.
Well, you can be, but you're in a situation, in a circumstance, which is already affecting you emotionally, and then you come home, and someone's done that to you. It's just not, you know. But yeah, you're absolutely right. So,
Most people don't even think about that.
yeah, they don't, and that's the last thing they're thinking about because of the scenario they're in. You know. No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Oh,
much.
wait, can we view these online? Yeah, I did in the past, because we didn't get to the first one of these.
Yes. We're going to be putting a video up on the website. Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, no problem.